All right, we're going on to topic Tuesday. I got to get myself ready for this one. Let me get the bottle of water because these med students and our resident doctor love to screw me up by putting big words in that I struggle with pronunciating. But this week, I can already tell it was written by Adam. He is our third-year med student, and he wants to talk about the various ways that aneurysms and dissections of the aortic arch can be repaired. Awesome. We haven't done that before. So let's talk about the basic anatomy of the aorta. Here it is. Look at this. Big aorta here. You have got the branches that come off the arch. So you've got the brachiocephalic artery that branches off to the right subclavian and the right common carotid artery. They all come off of this. Then you got that middle artery here, which is your left common carotid artery. And then the last branch is the left subclavian. If I am not mistaken, your subclavians go to your arms. Your carotids go to your brain. But I'm not a doctor, but I think I'm right on this. And this would be the arch of the aorta, and this would be your ascending aorta. This is what's coming off of your root right here. That would be going into your aortic valve. Then you have a right coronary artery and a left coronary artery. Okay, those, I believe, go into your heart. This is really tough. And then you have your descending aorta. Okay, so if you had a type A dissection, you dissected in here, A, ascending. Okay, anything that once you get here to the arch and you go into the descending is a type B, as in descending, as Dr. Udelman calls it, but it's really descending. Should have been called a type D for descending, but it isn't. It's type B as in boy, descending. Is this down? Once you get past a certain area after the thoracic chest area of the descending, now you're into your abdominal area. Okay, but that's still, if you dissect all the way down into there, you're still considered a type B. So just thought I'd throw that out there. So the aorta is kind of like an elephant trunk or a candy cane. So it has the ascending part that connects right to the heart, and then the arch, and then the descending part that goes down the entire body. That's what brings all that oxygenated rich blood to the rest of your body. And it's important to note that the top of the aorta, there was those three great vessels that came off, the brachiocephalic innominate, maybe I'm pronouncing it right. Your left common carotid and the left subclavian, they're very important for supplying blood to the top half of your body, including your brain. Depending on where one develops an aneurysm or dissection, different repair techniques can be deployed. So a hemi-arch repair, for those of you who were told you had a hemi-arch, this is one of the most common approaches of management for an acute aortic dissection. And that includes the ascending aorta without any involvement of the great vessels. So this would be my type. I just dissected initially in the ascending, and the surgeon took away that diseased part of the tissue, the dissected section, and sutured in a Dacron synthetic graft. So when you suture it in, you have two ends. They are the anastomosis. This is where they connect. And then you have your natural tissue. See, just like here. It's sutured in. Toot, toot, toot. This is your graft. And it's connecting before your three main branches that come off of the arch. That would be your hemiarch, okay? Total arch replacement. So in some patients, aortic disease may extend beyond the ascending aorta and could include the transverse arch, which is the part of the vessels that when it starts to curve. So in this situation, a larger section of the aorta is cut out and the great vessels are sewn back into the graft body to feed the brain. So look at this. Like, this is pretty amazing, right? So this is where your root was or is, right? Where you're going to find your aortic valve. So if you had an ascending that actually went into the arch, they actually can sew in a graft that has these portions attached to it that they then attach your great vessels to. I mean, to me, I find this all very fascinating. I think it's amazing what we do to the human body. Total arch replacement, okay? Elephant trunk. We've heard some people have an elephant trunk procedure. This is pretty complex because it's used in tissue in the lower or descending part of the aorta. So these patients can be quite difficult to manage surgically. as the lower part of the aorta it's kind of difficult to visualize in surgery through the chest. So in the elephant trunk approach, it's a two-stage repair. So this is a big repair. So first, the diseased aortic arch is cut out and replaced with new synthetic graft. However, the surgeon will leave behind some extra free free floating graft in the aorta to prepare for stage two. So stage two is the elephant trunk that was left behind in stage one, can be controlled and used for an extension of a graft. Let's take a look at this. So this is the beginning where you had the arch, the ascending, that gets repaired. It's stented into part of the arch into the descending. So that's attached here. It's attached here. And then there is a small little graft that will direct the flow up one of these arches, leaving the false lumen to thrombose or form its own clot. See, here it stopped it because it redirected the flow into that branch that came off of the arch. It's a pretty complex surgery. Elephant trunk, okay? There is a modification of the elephant trunk technique, and it's called the frozen elephant trunk. So there are two different things. So a frozen elephant trunk can be done in one stage. It's not a two-stage approach. So here the surgeon actually replaces the damaged ascending aorta, followed by the immediate deployment of a stent graft through the open arch in the same operation. Whereas in the elephant trunk, it's done in two separate operations. The frozen elephant trunk is done in one stage, one operation. Okay. Look at all that. So much cool stuff going on here. Okay. That's a wrap. That's a wrap for that. So let's look at this one more time. This is your frozen elephant trunk. This is one actual procedure. This would be two separate surgeries because you have to do this part with the vessel at the top. Okay? A lot going on here. But try to familiarize yourselves with these different surgical techniques, because if you're going to need to have a repair, maybe it's a scheduled aneurysm that's coming out and it's just going to be a simple repair of the ascending, or you've had a dissection, your loved one kind of needs to understand what's going on, or you're having a procedure because you've had some other vessels impacted after an initial dissection repair and now you have to go back in. I think it really helps to understand and have some visuals so that you have better questions to ask. You're more prepared to ask before you're having surgery. You have a better understanding of recovery and how this is being managed. So visualize what the benefits and utilities of each kind of surgery would be. Okay. We are actually going to be talking this week about hybrid arch repairs and strategies to manage aortic disease. So there you go. Think aorta, people. Thank you, Adam. This was another great post. Easy to understand, interesting information about the different techniques for repairing an aorta.